Put me on the stage now, I'm ready to rage now. I feel like an animal stuck in a cage and I'm ready to break out. My time, none of you people can tell me to stop. This time, like the last time, you better get ready to race to the top. I'm ready to do this, show you what the truth is. I step on the field, it's time to get real, I'm feeling so ruthless. My time, none of you people can tell me to stop. Lower the lights down, hand over my crown, hand over my heart. I do this for my town, I do this for my crowd. So turn me up real loud. My time, none of you people can tell me to stop. Yeah. So what are you afraid of? Those feelings are made up. Get in the game, your moment of fame, show them what you made of. It's time that we stand up, it's time that we man up. For anyone asking who is the best, we putting our hands up. My time, nothing can keep me from reaching the top. This time, like the last time, I'm moving so fast, I'm ready to ride. I'm ready to throw down, it's time for the showdown. I'm ready to rise, don't be surprised, I'll take on the world now. My time, none of you people can tell me to stop. Lower the lights down, hand over my crown, hand over my heart. I do this for my town, I do this for my crowd. So turn me up real loud. My time, none of you people can tell me to stop. My time, none of you people can tell me to stop. My town, my crown, we know what it takes to be reaching the top. We're reaching the top, we're reaching the top. We know what it takes to be reaching the top. My time, none of you people can tell me to stop. My town, my crown, we know what it takes to be reaching the top. We're reaching the top, we're reaching the top. We know what it takes to be reaching the top. Lower the lights down, hand over my crown, hand over my heart. I do this for my town, I do this for my crowd. So turn me up real loud. My time, none of you people can tell me to stop. Turning the track up, I'm never going back down. Hand over my heart, I do this for my town, I do this for my crowd. So turn me up real loud. My time, none of you people can tell me to stop.
Live from iRacing's virtual Bark River International Raceway in Bark River, Michigan. Welcome, sim racing fans, to round one of the virtual off-road racing series Pro 4 Championship live on Racecraft TV. I'm your host, Joshua Lee. Alongside me in the commentary booth tonight is Wayne Chihaki. And Wayne, we are getting ready for some off-road truck racing. Truly nothing quite as unique as sending these Pro 4 trucks around a track like this, a road course made of dirt. Four-wheel drive trucks beating and banging around this course. And we're getting started with the championship as well.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. There's a lot of great competitors out here tonight, and the track conditions are looking better than ever. One of my favorite racing styles are these trucks. The amount of air they get and the control you have while keeping the amount of speed is incredible. And as the first stop begins today, I'm really looking forward to the action we're going to have tonight and the great competitors in this league.
Expecting some exciting action to get this series underway, which is going to be a handful of rounds long as we take a look at the schedule for this season. Now, it is a little bit modified, does need to be changed, as we were originally going to start back on September 8th. Some iRacing issues pushed us to tonight here on September 22nd, but the schedule remains the same. The dates will just be changed all back by 2 weeks. So we'll start tonight here at Bark River. We got a Crandon in 2 weeks' time, then Wild West, then Wild Horse Pass, then Bark River and Crandon to end the season. And with 6 rounds, only 2 of them being repeat races, so a lot of uniqueness left on this schedule. And we take a look at where exactly we are. The Bark River International Raceway, the newest short course track to be added to the iRacing service. It opened in 1976 and has been hollow grounds for off-road and short course racing ever since. Continuing getting ready for tonight's event, take a look at that race analysis. We'll go racing for 2 heat races tonight, 4 laps in each of those heats, with the top 6 advancing their way into the feature. Then we'll have 1 last chance qualifier, the consolation race, also 4 laps, but we're going to cut the amount that transfers in half, having 3 transfer in. So that'll give us a 15 car feature race. We're going to cut the field exactly in half for that feature and go racing for a 12 lap feature race tonight. And we'll see a competition caution on lap number 6. And Wayne, that competition caution is unique to this series. They throw one right in the middle of the race. It bunches the field back up, and we have seen a lot of moves for the win be made on that restart.
Yeah, and I think that's a really unique thing to do here in the league. It bunches everyone up, like you said, and even if everyone's split off by a few seconds, it brings the pack leader and everybody back clustered up, and it really makes for some interesting racing, and a lot of competitors are banging across these turns and the front stretches, even mid-air. So I'm really looking forward to it. I like that that's a feature in tonight's race, and I really think it's going to make everything even better this season.
Last time we saw the virtual off-road racing series here on Racecraft TV, it was for the finale round of the virtual off-road racing series Pro 2 Championship. 2-wheel drive trucks over there, and it is what brought the fastest driver of the night, Cam Peterson, up to the front to contend for his championship. And it made for an exciting round there, and we're going to see it again here this season, and we'll see who is going to be at the top step, because taking a look down the timing sheet, Cam Peterson not competing here tonight. Not sure if he'll compete at all here in this series, but missing the first round going to affect him in points if he does come into later rounds. But we have a lot of fast drivers at the top of the timing sheet right now, and as we work through what is currently on the racetrack of qualifying, and Luke Knupp very fast at the front of the field with a 1:12.784. He just competed a little bit earlier on today, along with Connor Berry in the iRacing Rallycross All-Star Invitational. That happened right before tonight's iRacing Rallycross World Championship round number 1 event. So they're coming off Rallycross, but showing their speed here in the Pro 4 trucks, ready to go for the first round of the virtual off-road racing series Pro 4 Championship. Just like that, we are getting ready to take to the green flag here tonight. A lot of unknowns when it comes to what we will see tonight, but as qualifying wraps up, it is time for the 15 car heat number 1 that we are going to see tonight, and we'll get a look at that starting grid. As out in front, it is Luke Knupp, who will be starting on the pole, and to his outside, it'll be Keaton Swain, Christopher Plumley, Bodie Cryer, your second row with Shea Price, rounding out your top 5 with Ian Lane, rounding out that top 6. Back from there, Brian Clement, Vinnie McDonald, Daniel Eisch with John Binder, rounding out your top 10. Franklin Monak, Nicholas Matthews, finishing out those front 6 rows, and Miles Morse, Jeff Daniels, and Crystal King going to round out the remaining drivers on that grid for heat number 1. We are getting set and ready to go racing for 4 laps around Bark River here for the first heat of the night. And Wayne, this is going to just sort of set the pace for the rest of the night, because we're going to see these drivers take to the track for the first time. We're going to see how intense they're willing to race out on this course. We know short course and off-road trucks, they do a lot of beating and banging, but how aggressive are these drivers willing to be so early?
Well, first race in the season, I think they're going to see some very aggressive racing here in the first heat to make it into that main race. But I think we're going to see some passive racing mid-pack, and then it's going to get crazy on the last 2 laps. I'm hoping we're going to get a lot of action, and I know being the first race out for this whole season, it's going to get pretty crazy here in the heats. It's just a matter of how crazy it's going to get.
Getting ready to take that green flag, it'll be Luke Knupp who starts on the pole. And we get ready to go racing. That pace truck will pull off, and the restart zone is a bit farther back here on Bark River than the start-finish line is. We're going to see exactly when these drivers are going to hit that loud pedal and get running. Let's see how this season is going to get started. Expecting a ton of intense action, and on the loud pedal goes Luke Knupp. They'll go around these final couple of corners after the restart zone over that whoop section, and they will go over the start-finish line officially to begin heat number 1. We are underway, and already Luke Knupp grabbing an early jump out at the front of this field as Keaton Swain, Christopher Plumley went side by side for a moment. Now Swain's going to pull away here in P2. Luke Knupp trying to keep them all at bay in the front of the field, and is doing that well right now by about 8/10. But here comes Keaton Swain looking to get that lead away. Remember, top 6 transfer, already a close battle for the transfer spot as Brian Clement starting to fall back from the 20 of Ian Lane.
Great racing so far, and a great first lap here. A lot of action going on right now. The paint schemes are looking great, and they are getting some big air off of these jumps right now. Knupp able to hold the lead so far, up by 0.7 of a second, but Swanee is right in second place, and he is right behind Knupp if he makes a mistake. So he has to keep it consistent for these 3 laps coming up, and he's doing a good job so far, but can he keep it up? We're going to find out.
Swain is really fighting to get back to the back bumper of that number 77 machine of Luke Knupp. Let's see what he is able to do here. Here comes Christopher Plumley looking from P3, but out in front, this battle isn't really that important for the lead. It's only going to determine will you start on the pole or in the middle of this second row for the feature race tonight, as we have 3 to go here in heat number 1. Looking back to the transfer, Ian Lane has caught up to that back bumper of Brian Clement. This is the battle for the transfer spot right now, and look at Ian Lane taking a peek to the bottom. That Bigfoot paving machine trying to use that inside line, but keeping that spot is Brian Clement. But Wayne, they are close together. Ian Lane might have an opportunity if he forces that door open.
I think he's going to have a good shot at it. 6th place is one of the positions you're going to want to keep a look on. There's a lot of battles going on right now on the track, but Knupp looks to be leading by a good margin, and I think most of the racing is going to be for the 6th place spot right now, as Clement is doing a solid job at keeping Lane behind him. Lane trying to get close to the bumper and having a consistent run so far as we are on the 2nd lap 2 remaining right now. Lane has a chance to catch him, but it's going to take a little bit to get there.
2 to go this time by for race leader Luke Knupp in the 77. He'll go up and over the start-finish line gate right there. Put 2 laps to go up on the board. Knupp still leads into the top 3 breakaway. You have to go back a considerable margin back from Christopher Plumley to find Shea Price there. There's about a 3-second gap in the battle for 3rd. It's more of a battle for 4th here between Price and Bodie Cryer, another one of those fast short course drivers trying to make a name for himself here in the virtual off-road racing series. He's already done so and looking for more success in this series as Cryer currently runs from P5. Lost 1 spot from where he started, P4. Still inside those transfer spots in the battle for the transfer. Not much different right now as Clement stays barely in front of Ian Lane, and the gap's starting to grow a little bit. Now 6/10. Lane gonna have a little bit more work to do here on this white flag lap, Wayne, if he wants to get this transfer spot.
Clement's looking really clean right now if he could just keep 1 consistent lap here. The racing isn't as aggressive as I thought it'd be. These guys probably want to keep their machines in tip-top shape for the main race, but it looks like Clement is solid right now. Lane is going to have to do a lot of work to get to him to get that certain position, which is very important to get into that main series as we are about half a lap to go.
Luke Knupp takes the white flag in a considerable margin over Keaton Swain currently. This is the white flag lap in heat number 1. We have heat number 2 coming up next. That is on deck here for the virtual off-road racing series Pro 4 Championship. Over the jump goes Luke Knupp. We'll update you in the battle for the transfer as Ian Lane still right there trying to get by Brian Clement for the 6th spot. He's able to hold off in front as they go through the corner up and over the whoop section, but coming to the line, they have just a handful of corners to go. Lane's gonna need to send it up the bottom of the racetrack to get into Brian Clement if he wants to get that transfer spot. But coming to the checkered flag this time by through the final couple of corners, and it is Luke Knupp who is going to get the heat number 1 win. Maybe not. He goes up the racetrack. A slowdown for Knupp at the final corner, and Keaton Swain is going to take over that spot, and he takes the win here in heat number 1. Brian Clement able to hold on for the transfer, but a slowdown in the final corner. He had to give time back that he gained from iRacing in an unbelievable way to begin the night, and Knupp is going to finish P3. He's still able to hold on to his transfer spot, but what a development. And as we get ready to go for heat number 2, there's the full finishing results. Swain, Plumley, Knupp, Price, Cryer, and Clement, your top 6. They advance into the feature. Ian Lane, Daniel Ice, John Binder, Franklin Monak, as well as Nicholas Matthews, Vinnie McDonald, Jeff Daniels, Crystal King, and Miles Morse going to head over into the consolation. Time for the starting grid of heat number 2, and able to grab the pole here, it'll be Connor Berry in the number 28 machine, Josh Edmondson to his outside in the number 58, Felix Roy with Zachary Drapkin, Nicholas Dushlet rounding out your top 5, Cody Retzlaff in P6. Back from there, it's Nick Larson, Taylor Vandenbush, Cody Meadows, Trevor Teal rounding out your top 10, Scott Bryant, Victor Aldrich rounding out your first 6 rows, and rounding out the 15 drivers ready to go green, Bill Lester, Nathan Ramsey, and Trenton Briley. Field already taking to the Bark River International Raceway, looking to take that green flag here in heat number 2, and it is a front row lockout for Jim Beaver Esports and Connor Berry and Josh Edmondson. Those Jim Beaver cars know exactly what to do when it comes to short course racing. Of course, Jim Beaver, such a huge supporter of iRacing and of eShort Course and the eShort Course World Cup, and his trucks know how to get it done when it comes to the virtual off-road racing series. Heat number 2 for round 1 of the championship for Pro 4 trucks. We are underway. remember, the restart zone is back here, 3 corners away from the start-finish line, but already getting up and moved out of the groove. That looked to be Zachary Drapkin. As they go through the final couple of corners, more contact with Dashley goes Zachary Drapkin, and already battling for the lead is the 2 Jim Beaver Esports trucks as we take the green flag going on to lap 1.
There's a lot of buckling and banging going on here in the first few turns, but I expect the field to get a little bit split up here as we go through the next corners. Right now, it was a great start to heat number 2, Josh. Heat number 1 was great, a crazy upset for position 7, and now we are on to our heat number 2 race. The leader having a solid lead so far, looks like about 0.2 seconds, but first place all the way to 5th are all up together, and it's anyone's chance to win heat number 2 here. It looks like we have position number 2 coming up to the leader right now as they're getting some nice air and getting fast through the corner. And it looks like he's trying to make a move on the inside. Is he going to do it? I don't know. Not able to do it.
Trying to poke that nose in there is Josh Edmondson, and you can see him trying to go for the switch back on his teammate Connor Berry. Felix Roy sitting right back waiting in the wings when it comes to P3. Drapkin, Dashley rounding out your top 5. Taylor Vandenbush holding on to that 6th place transfer spot as everybody is currently swapping for positions further back as Cody Retzlaff drops a couple of spots. Nick Larson able to get by for P7, and you can see that number 802 machine looking a little bit banged up as he runs now in P7. Trenton Briley looking like he moved into the pit lane, but a considerable margin of about 2 seconds for that 6th place transfer spot, so we'll stay on the battle for the lead as it currently stands with Connor Berry. Edmondson trying to chase his teammate from Jim Beaver Esports down. Hey, why don't we make it a 3-truck battle for the lead as here comes Felix Roy in P3.
What a great battle so far, Josh. Edmondson trying to come for Barry right now and trying to make a move on the inside probably right now, as it is a 3-truck battle, and this is what the viewers and the fans have come to see. Crazy battles like this before we even get to the main race of the night. This second heat is very good so far, but Edmondson is going to have to do some work if he wants to catch up to his teammate Barry right now. Barry is taking a pretty marginable lead so far. He's been very consistent, so has Edmondson. So I hope he's going to be able to catch Barry and make a crazy battle as we get to the finish with 2 laps to go.
Update on the transfer spot, still held by Taylor Vandenbush, has not gone to anybody else as of right now. Nick Larson still trying to chase him down, and as we get a look at that gap, it is a solid 1.5 seconds, so a ton of time needs to be made up by Nick Larson if he wants to get that transfer spot. But Connor Berry still holding off Josh Edmondson at the head of this field, and these 2 teammates will still go battling as Edmondson not looking to go too aggressive just yet. He knows that feature race is still on the horizon. He makes a peek to the bottom. Can this be the pass made on Barry to take the lead? It will be a left-hander. That'll give advantage to Edmondson, but it cuts right back to the right. If he's able to get a nose out in front, it looks like they make door-to-door contact between the 2. Here comes Felix Roy as Edmondson's going to have to settle for 2nd place at the moment. Not able to get around Barry, but so close to making it work on the outside line. Coming through the final corner now. White flag is in the air. One more time around here in heat number 2.
Incredible racing at the front of the pack right now as Barry and Edmondson have been battling out the past few laps. This is the final lap, so I expect Edmondson to be much more aggressive. But just by seeing what we've been seeing here in the Heat 1 and Heat 2, we're going to have an incredible feature race as these teammates are battling against each other. Edmondson's really going to have to go aggressive and make some crazy turns here if he wants to try and take that lead. But I think if he doesn't get the opening, he's not going to push his teammate out of the way and take P2. Hopefully we're going to see something crazy here as Barry and Edmondson round the corner once again, coming to the line, Josh. I don't know if Edmondson's going to be able to do it.
Let's see what happens here in the final couple of corners. Barry able to hold him off by just about a half truck length. What is Edmondson going to do? Is he going to go aggressive? 1 truck flipping it right into line. Who is that? That is Scott Bryant, who I believe just flipped over a tire barrier, went right into the line of the main leaders, didn't affect anybody at the front. Your top 6 remain the same, especially at the front of the field, as Connor Berry is going to walk away with the win here in heat number 2 after a spectacular end to that race. I believe that was Scott Bryant who went flipping over a tire barrier and ended up right in the line of the leaders, but nobody was affected. So we will finish heat number 2 with exactly the same drivers in that top 6 as we had already had. And what an exciting end to that heat race. Connor Berry, Josh Edmondson, Felix Roy, Zachary Drapkin, Nicholas Deschlet, and Taylor Vandenbush rounding out your top 6. They advance to the feature with Nick Larson, Cody Retzlaff, Trevor Teal, Cody Meadows, your top 10. Back from there, Bill Lester, Nathan Ramsey, Scott Bryant, Victor Aldrich, with Trenton Briley rounding out your top 15. Time to take a look at your grid for the consolation race. We go from 15 to 18 now, as they will all go fighting for these final couple of transfer spots. 4 to be exact here coming out of the consolation race. Sorry, 3 transfer spots to be exact. In lane, Nick Larson on the front row, Daniel Eisch, Cody Retzlaff. Back from there, John Binder, Trevor Teal, your top 6. Further back, it is Franklin Monak, Cody Meadows, Nicholas Matthews with Bill Lester rounding out your top 10. Vinny McDonald, Nathan Ramsey, Jeff Daniels, Scott Bryant, Crystal King, Victor Aldrich, Miles Morse, and Trenton Briley going to round out all of the drivers ready to take the green flag here in the consolation race. So last chance for these drivers to qualify into the feature. This is going to be an important race. We only take the top 3. That means that we are going to send 15 hopeful drivers home here in round number 1 of the championship. Wayne, if it's any point that track position was important tonight, it's here, because we've seen how quickly these trucks spread out. If you're not in one of those top spots, you're going to be praying for a miracle.
You really are, and top 5 is really where you want to be in this pack racing. I saw how crazy hard it was to pass any other competitor on the track. If they don't make a mistake and hold their line, it's nearly impossible on this course. So being in the top 5, top 10 is really going to help out here starting in these first few laps.
We'll take a look as we go green. We already have a battle for the transfer spot as Cody Retzlaff looks to the inside of the 14 of Daniel Eisch. Green flag is out here in the LCQ. Eisch able to hold on to that spot, but here comes Cody Retzlaff. He peeks to the bottom in the jump. One truck gonna go flipping over onto its lid. I believe that was the 33 of John Binder. Yes, it was. He flips up and over onto his lid off of the jump. Here comes Cody Retzlaff battling for the transfer, however. He's right on that back bumper of Daniel Eisch in the 14. Question is, can he make that pass happen? He's gonna look for it, and he's gonna get it. A little bit of door banging in between these two, but getting the spot is Retzlaff, but it's gonna swap over left-hand corner. Eisch to the bottom. He's gonna take that spot away from Retzlaff.
What incredible action so far, and the competition is really aggressive to get into the feature race, Josh. This is the race the fans were looking for before the main feature. What incredible action so far. Lane taking the lead and holding it right now. Larson in second, Aish in third, and Retzlaff really having a good battle with Meadows so far. This race has gotten really good on this second lap coming up, and I am really looking forward to the next 2 laps. I'm hoping Aish and Meadows can keep beating and banging, because this competition is crazy so far.
Retzlaff and Ice still battling for that third transfer spot. Here comes the 04 Cody Meadows through that jump, making a 3-truck battle for the transfer. Retzlaff able to get around Daniel Ice and put a little bit of a gap in front of him. Now look at Cody Meadows to the inside of Daniel Ice. There's the crossover coming out though as the 14 gonna be able to power right back around the 04 of Cody Meadows. They still work their way through the middle portion of this racetrack. It'll be 2 to go when Ian Lane comes across the line, but Cody Retzlaff able to put that nose in there at the perfect time and start to pull away from Daniel Ice, trying to hold on to this final transfer spot here in the last chance qualifier. Can he hold on to it is the big question. Out in front, Ian Lane putting a gap over the rest of the field in front of Nick Larson. It is side by side a little bit further back for P6. Look at Crystal King powering around Franklin Monak after a mistake made by Monak. King continues to move herself up through the field. As take a look at this one. Getting close together. Meadows gonna dive into the bottom through the whoops, but take a look at Crystal King. They are moving their way 3 wide up the bottom of the racetrack, and into 4th goes King. What a move as Ice and Meadows laid on each other in that corner, forced both of them into a mistake.
Incredible action. It's not over yet. As I was talking about before, it's really going to take advantage of those mistakes that the drivers are having, and we saw Crystal King and Retzlaff do just that at the front and here in P5. It's been incredible so far up at the front and mid-pack, and it's not over yet. We still got some laps going on, Josh, right now. I'm looking at Retzlaff and King. They have had some incredible battles so far, and right behind them, Meadows and Monak are coming at each other if they can make up the ground. The competition has been great so far, and it's still going on as we have a 2-truck battle trying to take over a position right now. I believe in 4th place, King able to take it for now, and he holds it for 4th place. King doing a great job so far.
Great move by Crystal King to move herself into that 4th spot. Lap truck on the outside, don't mind them as the leaders race by, and up and over goes Ice. Ice is on to his lid. Cody Meadows involved in this one as well as the white flag comes out. We'll take a quick look at that replay, but what a development there. It looked like a lapped machine might have moved themselves up and over into the racing line. Here's that replay. And oh, it looked like the lap machine hit Meadows, contacting into Ice, and that sent Ice up and over flipping. Here's another look. Oh no, Meadows just made contact with him. Just those two made contact. No issue with the lap machine there. But looking to come across the line, last couple of corners. What a run for Ian Lane at the front of this field to walk away with the win here in the Constellation. He'll move his way up and through the final couple of corners as the checker flag comes out for the last chance qualifier, and Ian Lane is going to walk away with the win in the LCQ. Nick Larson P2. Cody Retzlaff is going to walk away with that final transfer spot. Those 3 will join the original 12 in the feature race tonight. Crystal King comes home 4th, just a couple of seconds too far back as everybody else works their way across the line. Doesn't look like any final battles developing their way in, so we'll grab a look at those full race results here from the Constellation race. It is Ian Lane who walks away with that win. Nick Larson P2, Cody Retzlaff P3, Crystal King P4, with Cody Meadows P5. Remember, that top 3 will go racing in the feature. Everybody else back from there all the way through P18 has been eliminated from this race. They'll have to try again at the next round from Crandon. We still have a ton of exciting action coming up here in the Virtual Off-Road Racing Series Pro 4 Championship. We're taking a quick break here on Racecraft TV, but do not go anywhere because when we come back, it is feature time here from Virtual Bark River.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hickory on a beautiful 80-degree Easter Saturday. Mike.
Welcome back to live coverage of the virtual off-road racing series Pro 4 Championship. You're tuning into live coverage on Racecraft TV. Joshua Lee alongside Wayne Chiaki here in the booth. It's time to go feature racing from virtual Bark River. We went from 30 trucks trying to qualify for the feature down to 15, and we are ready to send them loose here at virtual Bark River. Time to take a look at your full starting grid for today's race. Feature race from Bark River, and grabbing the pole, it is Josh Edmondson. Grabbing the pole, it is going to be Keaton Swain with Connor Berry to the outside. Christopher Plumley alongside Josh Edmondson will be starting outside of row 2. Luke Canup, Felix Roy rounding out that third row. Going back from there, it's Shea Price with Zachary Drapkin, Bodie Cryer, and Nicholas Deschley rounding out your top 10. Bryant Clement in front of Taylor Vanden Bush. Moving back from there to the final rows of cars, Ian Lane, Nick Larson, and Cody Retzlaff. Gonna round out the drivers here at virtual Bark River who are ready to go racing for the feature tonight. As the field rolls off, Wayne, we've seen a ton of fast drivers tonight. We're going to basically cut this race in half with a competition caution coming at lap number 15. Who's your money on as we get ready to go racing?
Man, Josh, those heat races were incredible, and the final 3 positions to get in was a great battle too. I think Connor Berry has a great chance at it. He did great in the heat races. He showed that he has a lot of speed starting at the front of the pack here. I think Connor Berry has a good chance at taking it, but it's anyone's game in the top 5, and with that competition caution, it's going to make it even crazier.
Let's see what'll happen. The first feature race of the season for the Virtual Off-Road Racing Series Pro 4 Championship. Remember, the restart zone about 3 corners away from the start-finish line, so they'll go beating and banging right up until the green flag, and already sending it to the bottom goes Christopher Plumley, trying to gain a couple of spots. He's door banging with Edmondson for P3. Edmondson's gonna get cattywampus coming over the whoop section. He slams the outside wall once more, and as they come across the start-finish line, the green flag is out, and Keaton Swain gets the early jump on everybody. Connor Berry gonna have to fight from P2. Plumley, Edmondson, Canup your top 5 as they start to go through the middle portions of Bark River. You can already see the field starting to spread its way out. Felix Roy goes up the inside of Canup. These two are gonna be side by side for P6 here in the features. We just get started here on lap number 1. Another door bang from Roy to Canup as they work their way through the middle portion.
Great racing so far, and position 6 is the one to watch right now. Great battle going on between Felix Roy and Luke Canup as they are still battling it out. It looks like Canup is on the fender of Roy right now, and they are beating and banging as he gets pushed to the outside and spins out right now as Roy continues on. What a crazy upset there. Gets him out of the whole pack as we're going back to the replay. Incredible racing there, beating and banging, and you can see gets pushed to the outside, and Canup hits the fence a little bit, spins him out, and has to wait all the way to the back of the pack. That's going to kill his run for now, hoping we get to the competition caution and he gets some positions back.
Already out in front is Keaton Swain. He did not waste any time at the front of this field. He is pulling away. Connor Berry sitting in P2. Remember, he has a very fast Jim Beaver Esports Pro 4 machine, but look at who's right behind him. Christopher Plumley, who's also behind him, his teammate in Josh Edmondson. These two Jim Beaver Esports teammates know when it comes to short course what to do, and Christopher Plumley, don't count him out as well. Don't sell him short. He is another one of these drivers, one of the originals of these short course. Very quick, very fast, looking to get P2 over Connor Berry. He tries to get it on the inside line, but take a look at this. Plumley gonna go right back to the bottom of the racetrack, trying to power around Connor Berry for P2. They still go battling as they come up and over the jump. Still able to hold on to P2 is Connor Berry. Is anything going to change as they go through the switchback? Here comes Plumley back to the bottom. A little bit of a door bang. Can he clear Berry before they go through the left-hander? No, he can't, but contact made. More contact as Edmondson slides into Plumley, and multiple drivers getting damage off of that one. Connor Berry Barry just able to slide in, keep P2 away, as now Plumlee gonna go battling with Felix. Roy was able to get by Edmondson.
Plumlee with a damaged truck, and as you can see from before, hit the wall while trying to battle it out with Barry and take the lead. It got too aggressive, got into the wall, and now has a lot of damage on that truck, but he's going to continue on. These trucks are beasts. As we go back to the instant replay, you can see big battle there, and he gets winded out of his groove, hits the wall, and gets into contact with other drivers on the track, which gives Connor Barry the second place position as he continues on here in tonight's race. As we're back to Christopher Plumlee, what a crazy moment there for him, but he's going to continue on the race. These guys are beasts. Even if they get into contact and spin out, they're still going to carry on. And with that competition caution coming on, Josh, these drivers are going to have a big chance to take that lead tonight.
And remember, these trucks can take a lot when it comes to damage. You're not really going to see aerodynamic damages. Take a look at the 91 of Felix Roy. Gets up and onto the banners. A little bit of a grind rail like you would see at a skate park. Not really that good for Pro 4 trucks, but he is showing off some skills here when it comes to the Virtual Off-Road Racing Series. Now remember, we will have that competition caution, and we're not going to see anybody come down into the pit lane, but we are going to see the field gets bunched back up, and any damage these trucks get, as long as you're still full speed, aerodynamics don't matter. The damage doesn't really matter either. It all depends on, is your engine running at 100%, and if it is, keep running, keep trying to gain spots on the racetrack. As the field spreads out, a little bit of a battle for P7 between Shea Price and Nicholas Deschlet. That is actually a battle for P6 on the racetrack, as we see these two go battling into the corner, the 13 and the 92. They're currently battling for 6. It'll be 2 laps to go before that competition caution. And that Comp Yellow is going to bring a little bit more strategy into this race, because how aggressive are these drivers willing to be on that restart? As we keep up at the battle for 6, Shea Price able to hold off Nicholas Deschlet right now, as Price goes right up and onto the wall of dirt there a little bit, getting a little bit of extra momentum coming into that final corner, able to hold on to P6 right now over Deschlet. Not wanting to let that number 92 by just yet is Price. They continue to fight bumper to bumper right now, as Christopher Plumlee still chasing down your current race leader, and is doing a pretty good job of that, as we have 1 to go. Comp Yellow going to come out at the end of this lap.
Yeah, and that's going to make a big difference in their racing style for every driver. Once that caution comes out and we get packed back up, we're going to see some crazy pack racing, and we're going to get a lot of chaos and confusion in that first lap. We have just a few corners left before we get to that final lap for competition caution, but we've seen some good battles throughout the race so far, and with 6 laps, once we get to that caution, we're going to have a lot more chaos and carnage happening here on the track, as Keaton Soigné is having a very good run so far, taking the P1 position and having a great, solid, momentum-filled run.
And Keaton Swain comes across the start-finish line. Now we are expecting that competition caution here relatively shortly, and it looks like it'll be a manual admin caution that is called, and we are now under the competition caution. So not a sim thrown caution. This is fully done on admin, and they have a gentleman's agreement. Everybody will slow down, and we will go back to racing here in just a few moments. There's only 1 lap of caution. They'll get bunched up, and we'll have a single file restart at the end of this lap. But out in front, Keaton Swain now is going to have that Jim Beaver Esports number 28 of Connor Barry breathing down his neck. And what can the drivers further back do? Everybody in the top 4 right now is unchanged from where they started this race. Swain started on the pole, Barry started P2, Plumlee P3, Edmondson P4. Back from there, Roy's up 1 spot, so is Price. Deschlet up 3 spots, same thing with Clement back there. Cody Retzlaff up 6 spots from where they started in the race. So anything can happen when we bunch this field back up, Wayne. I'm expecting some aggressive moves coming out from Connor Barry. We know how aggressive he can be when it comes to these off-road trucks.
Yeah, Connor Berry is my pick for this race. He did great in the heats, like I said, and he has a really fast truck for this race tonight. Connor Berry coming out of California, one of the great drivers on this series, and I think he's going to be a top 5 driver at the end of the season. As we're getting ready to go green once again, single file. This is going to be some incredible racing as we start up again.
Field gets on the lap pedal. Take a look at Connor Berry. Goes back to the bottom. Is he going to be able to get around Keaton Swain? No, he can't. It's going to switch back to a left-hander, and they'll go across the start-finish line here in a moment to go on to lap number 7. And as Keaton Swain pulls away, Berry not able to do anything, but Edmondson dives up the inside of Christopher Plumley, trying to get P3. A little bit of a door bang as they come over the jump. Edmondson lands before the 36. He's still going to be on the inside line. He's going to take over that 3rd spot. Here comes Felix Roy to battle for P4 with Plumley. Plumley's going to fall to P5 with this move from the 91.
Plumley battling it out with 3 trucks right now. 3-way battle for P3 right now, and it's an incredible one going on right now. As we come through the corner, you can see them single file out for a bit here, but I know that one of them is going to take advantage as we come here to the final few laps. There's a lot of time left to make moves, and these drivers are getting really aggressive. This is only the first race of the season, and we've seen some great competition and some great battles so far as they are still trying to battle it out for P4 and P3 back there.
You're currently taking a look at the battle for P3 on board of Edmondson. Edmondson trying to hold off Plumley, exactly what he is going to do. When they come across the line this time by, they will have 5 laps to go as Keaton Swain still at the head of this field. Berry hasn't let him get away too much right now, though, in the battle for first. It's about a half second. Berry needs a mistake to come from Keaton Swain, but Swain is one of those drivers, Wayne, that has been in short course for a long time here on the iRacing service, basically since it was added a couple of years ago. And he tried to qualify for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship, wasn't able to do it. Now focusing purely on short course, and it's working out for him. He rarely makes a mistake, so Berry does not want to rely on a mistake from Keaton Swain to get this race win. He needs to try and get by him under green under these circumstances, where Swain is absolutely perfect, because if he hopes for a mistake, that might never come in these last 4 laps.
Yeah, you can really tell how consistent Keaton Swain has been so far. This main feature race, he has been in the top 3 the whole time, and now he is really running his line very aggressively and very defensively at the same time, able to hold it really well. And Connor Berry's going to have to work for it, like you said. He was my pick for this race. He has a fast truck, but Keaton Swain has a lot of skill, and he has a lot of speed here on the track tonight. He has really put a lot of work into practicing on these shorter courses, and it is really showing with these 5 laps remaining with what he can do. Still in the first position and taking time away from Berry. Berry's going to have to do a lot to gain.
We are back to the battle for P3 as it has changed a little bit. Plumley still right on that back bumper of Josh Edmondson, trying to get to him to make this pass. Let's see if he can do it here. Battling for 3rd place on the track. Plumley gonna look to the bottom. He gets that nose in there, but it's the momentum coming out of these corners that is what bites a lot of these drivers when it comes to making these moves. Another dive to the inside, but you can see just can't get to the gas as early as Edmondson. He makes an effort though, stays side by side for the moment. But as they work their way back through this corner, Edmondson holds the spot away from Christopher Plumley. Give P3 back to Josh Edmondson as he continues to hold it at the front of this field. Felix Roy also trying to go further up into the top 5 as he currently sits in 5th. Shea Price watching all this happen from P6. They're looking to get up into the top 5 for the first time tonight. Let's see what that 13 can do. But with 3 to go, the battle for the lead has fizzled out. It's 1.3 seconds. Make that 1 second as they go through the corner. And Edmondson still trying to hold off Plumley. Plumley's not going to get to the door on this lap.
Keaton Swain really doing a great job out there in P1. He's doing an incredible job at holding his line, and he's making the gap even further on Connor Berry. second and a half right now. He's doing a great job so far and has been very consistent throughout the entire feature. He is one to watch for this whole series and the final few stops we have here. We're only in the first one, like I said before. So the most important racing is going on right now back in P4. Plumlee and Felix Roy. Felix Roy has been a little bit of an underdog during this entire race. He's been in the picture a little bit, but mostly Edmondson and Plumlee have been battling it out. Felix Roy is in the perfect spot to take the position from them if they battle it out and make mistakes. So I'm going to keep my eye on Felix Roy back in P5.
And you can take a look on board with Roy as they come up and over the start-finish line. 2 laps to go for your race leader and 2 laps to go for everybody back here in this pack battling. Edmondson puts a little bit of a gap to the 36 and the 91, but Roy is trying to get to that back bumper of Christopher Plumlee. Can he do it is the big question. He's still sitting on a top 5, which to begin the season, a top 5 is definitely nothing to scoff at. But we know that he wants a little bit more at the front of the field. And right now, setting the pace for this field, it has been Keaton Swain. An absolutely perfect feature race, led since the outset. He qualified front row as well for his heat, won his heat from the pole, and is looking to complete the hat trick with a feature race win. Through the final couple of corners, he is looking for that white flag. And we will see 1 lap to go here in the Virtual Off-Road Racing Series Pro 4 Championship. This is just the first round from Bark River. The white flag gets waved. It is one more time around the Bark River International Raceway here on the Racecraft TV. 1 to go. Swain with a great race here in the feature, just looking to hold on. The battle's further back. Plumlee has caught a little bit up to Josh Edmondson, but it doesn't look like he has caught up enough. He only has a couple of corners left here on this lap to get this move made. Let's see if he is able to do it. Another dive up the inside for Plumlee, not able to get the grip, not able to get the move done. Luke Canup just getting up into P7 over Nicholas Duchlet, but at the front of the field, taming everybody here tonight from Bark River, Keaton Swain gonna come through the final 2 corners. Let's hope he doesn't end up with a slow down penalty. Through the final corner, everything looks great for Swain, and he keeps it going from the start of the race to the end of the race. It has been all Keaton Swain the entire feature. He takes the win in the first feature race of the season for the Virtual Off-Road Racing Series Pro 4 Championship.
What a great race, Josh. Keaton Swain dominated the entire race, and this feature race was his to win. Incredible job from Keaton. Connor Berry in second place. Josh Edmondson finishing in P3. Chris Plumlee in 4th. Felix Roy in 5th. Your top 5. A great race thoroughly. At the end, we really saw the field start to sort out, and it was an incredible first stop here.
Keaton Swain with a dominating win in the feature. Connor Berry comes home P2. Josh Edmondson P3. A great run for him to get back up into 3rd after going back a little bit before that competition yellow. Use that to his advantage to get up into those podium spots. We're going to hear from all 3 of your podium finishers here in just a moment. Christopher Plumlee finishes 4th. Felix Roy rounding out your top 5. Shea Price in P6. Luke Canup P7. Nicholas Duchlet P8, Nick Larson P9, with Brian Clement rounding out your top 10. Back from there, finishing out your top 15 are all 15 trucks who started this race. It is Bodie Cryer, Cody Retzlaff, Taylor Vandenbush, Ian Lane, and Zachary Drapkin, your top 15. Time to hear from your top 3 here tonight, and we are going to get started by hearing from your race winner, the number 21 of Keaton Swain. He joins us in the broadcast booth now. Keaton, what a run from you. Talk about the confidence coming into this race, because it looked like you had the truck to beat, and you clearly did, leading every single lap of that feature.
Yeah, it was a good race. Luckily, I was able to start on the pole there. And I kind of just put my head down and just ran laps. Wasn't really worried about what was behind me. And it worked out well for me. I was able to pull away from Connor, but overall, I'm pretty happy with it.
And of course, this being the start to the season, how is this going to sort of boost your confidence going into the remainder of the season? Because obviously you're going to get started in this series with the points lead. How confident are you that you can hold on to that points lead all the way to the finale round in a couple of months' time in Crandon?
Yeah, I mean, confidence is everything, and so is momentum. So to start off with a win is huge, and hopefully we can just continue to put down good races and be consistent, and hopefully just be there at the end.
And moving into the next round, we go racing from Crandon. Of course, it seems like it is a driver favorite and a fan favorite when it comes to East short course. Can you go back-to-back in the feature race and go back-to-back in the heats as well?
Oh, we're definitely going to try. Crandon is a pretty good track for me, so we'll put in some laps and get my truck dialed in, and hopefully we can show up and put on a good race for everyone and be up front.
Well, thank you so much for joining us post-race here, Keaton. Congratulations on your feature race win from Virtual Bark River.
Thank you. I just got to thank everyone that helps me out. Appliance Parts Company, everyone at Factory Sim Sport, Sim Coach Pedals that just came on board today. So looking forward to getting a set of those and putting those to use.
Well, thank you very much for joining us here in the broadcast booth. That is Keaton Swain, your race winner here in the feature from Virtual Bark River. And we transition now over to Connor Berry, second place finisher, standing by with Wayne Chiaki.
Connor, nice to be with you here tonight, finishing second place in tonight's first race of the season. Started P2 on the first position almost. Tell us about how the race went for you.
Yeah, it was definitely a race where about just trying to hit all of your marks was just key. We had our tune set for the end of the race, and obviously it just did not work. The track was still just too good, and that's how Swain just got the lead, and he was just gone. The last two laps I started to gain him, and that's when our tunes came in. But it's all good. We came out of round one, and we should be second in the points, which is good. With that, I think like 5 more rounds to go, so it'll be good. Just got to put in some more time and come out faster.
Yeah, and your team has great equipment. Your truck was still really fast tonight, Connor, and you were actually my pick to win the race. So finishing position 2 is great here in the first race. Now we head into second round in Crandon. What do you think you and your team have for that race coming up? And do you think your truck is going to have the performance to get another top 3 there?
Oh yeah, our trucks are going to be fast. It's going to be surprising if we do not win. We will put in a ton of time, and we will make sure that we can win that. We do not like to lose, and tonight we went second, third, and fifth, so we will make sure to put in time so we can go 1, 2, 3. We just need to focus on trying to hit our marks and do our and just have the tune set, and we will be good.
Great to hear, Connor. One more question for you before you go. Tonight's race went incredible. I want to know your thoughts on the competition caution. Do you like the pack fielding up and getting together to go for the last 6 laps? And what is it like as a driver to get through that pack?
If I was first, I can say I do not like it. But since I was in the number 2 spot, it was good. I could get back to the rear of Swain. We needed some more speed to get him. As a driver, it can be very stressful because of the people behind you are now there now, so you have to watch behind and watch in front. Thankfully, I got third off of my back fast, and then Josh got the third, so then I knew that it was set there. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Connor, for your time in the booth, and good luck in round number 2. Have a good night.
Thank you, and I would just like to give a thanks to my whole entire team, Jim Beaver Esports. We put in time, and it is showing. General Tire, CBR, Polaris Razor Vision Wheel, and that is it. And thanks to Josh and all them for the lead.
Good to hear from Connor Berry, P2 finisher here tonight, and we wrap up our podium interviews with Josh Edmondson. P3 finish tonight for you, Josh. I don't think it was exactly what you were looking for, but definitely not a bad start to the season. Just looked like you got caught in traffic a little bit there, and that competition caution definitely helped you get that spot back and get up into the podium spots there for the end.
Yeah, that was a good pass to get back by Plumley there. It's really tough when there's so many guys here that are fast and so close in pace. It's really hard to pass. And yeah, I had some damage from that lap 1 carnage, and then a couple laps in, something happened with Plum and Connor there where I ended up getting into Plumley. So I know we all had damage there. Probably wasn't optimal, but I'm happy actually with a P3. Not as up to pace as I want to be in these Pro 4s, so P3 first round is good.
And that is something to build off of for the remainder of the season. And we heard from Keaton Swain, he's looking to just keep this momentum going and keep that lead. But this is momentum for you finishing here in P3. Can these consistent finishes keep up? And if you get a podium every round, I have no doubts in my mind that you'd be up there in the talks for the championship. And with only 6 rounds, you got to be really good and consistent and almost perfect. And it looks like you have a good start to that here tonight.
Yeah, for sure. I think championship guys probably not going to finish out of the top 3 or 5. Usually there's some bad races, stuff happens, but yeah, it's going to be whoever's consistent. But no, I really need to win races. You get those extra points for winning races, and that's what we're all here to do. So that's definitely my goal.
And of course, 2 weeks time, we go to virtual Crandon. I know it's one of your favorites. How can you get that first feature race win or the first heat race win of the season for the number 58 team when we go to Crandon?
Yeah, I hope so. I typically do well at that track in the Pro 2, and I like it here in the Pro 4. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I definitely need to do some testing, though. I feel like we were a little off pace on the fresh track. And after that update last week or so, the iRacing tracks got slower when they were fresh. So there's something to be found there. I think I'm going to go back to the testing sessions and grind on that a little bit and see if we can find something.
Well, thank you so much for joining us post-race here, Josh. Congratulations on your 3rd place finish here from Bark River.
Thanks. I just have to shout out everybody on the team: Jim Beaver Esports, Fistful of Bourbon, General Tire, Polaris Razor, Acronis, Rigid Industries, and Vision Wheels. Also our new sponsor that just came on board, Next Level Racing. So yeah, looking forward to the next one.
Thank you very much for your time. That is Josh Edmondson, P3 finisher here from virtual Bark River. And just like that, that is going to round out the first round of coverage here on Racecraft TV. We would like to give a shout out to the 2 main sponsors of Virtual Off-Road Racing Series, starting with Lawrence Equipment, the edge on automation. You can check them out online at lawrenceequipment.com. Also, I'd like to thank Factory Sim Sport. You can get setups for off-road trucks over on factorysimsport.com. For Josh Edmondson and the Virtual Off-Road Racing Series and Racecraft TV, and for my colleague in the booth tonight, Wayne Chiaki, my name is Joshua Lee. Thank you so much for tuning into live coverage of round number 1 of the Virtual Off-Road Racing Series Pro 4 Championship, and we hope to see you in 2 weeks time from Virtual Crandon.